do you do when you're completely out of ideas and you want to create some Collagraph plates? In this video, I'm going to show you a creative process that you can kickstart your Collagraph plates with. It's using a method of a grid journal. Hope you enjoy the video. So I'm going to start off with a big piece of Enviromount board divided by masking tape, and I'm using Elko drawing roll, which has got one sticky side, and I am just cutting out strips and all sorts of different shapes from this sticky paper and gluing it down onto the Enviromount board. So I'm treating this all as one sort of artwork, and I'm not thinking about it as separate Collagraph plates. And again, I'm just playing. There's no intention here. I'm just sort of randomly sticking the shapes on and having fun. So after I have applied, I've stuck down all my shapes, I'm going to apply some Micasious iron oxide paint, which is a product by Golden, and I'm pushing it around with a color shaper. This product is great because it creates a very dark tone in printmaking, and it acts as a liquid carborundum. So again, I'm just sort of randomly applying it. There's no intention here. Still playing, still having fun. And I love a bit of glitter. I'm adding just some glitter on top as the glitter wipes, the ink wipes off the glitter clean because it's smooth. It looks really good on a dark surface. So I'm just here adding some Mica Flakes and just to do something a bit different and just some more texture. Next, I'm going to add a bit of glass bead gel, acrylic glass bead gel by Golden. It is a bit of a weird one as it's not always behaving how you want it to, as the ink doesn't quite get in between the glass beads. So, but it does have quite a nice embossing effect. So it is worth playing about with, and I'm using it just to really demonstrate to you what it does, and again, I'm just playing here, still having fun, just placing it wherever. You can do with a palette knife, color shaping tool, or this clay shaping tool. Next, I'm going to put on some Crackle Paste, and Crackle Paste is awesome because it crackles thick when you put when you have a thick amount of paint to apply, or it crackles really fine when you've got a thin amount of Crackle Paste on. I'm applying it with a palette knife, and the surface needs to be non-absorbent and hard for the Crackle Paste to crackle. It's going to create a medium tone because it's matte. So that's worth noting. So next is extra heavy body matte gel by Amsterdan. It's really nice medium because you can create stencil shapes with, you can embed things, emboss things into it. Really great medium to work with in printmaking. You can get gloss or matte. I happen to have matte, and that will create a mid-tone. So I'm just using a color shaper again here, and I'm going to sort of spread it in different areas on the artwork. And by now I've let all the sort of other paste and gels dry, so I can sort of put this paste over any areas that I've already covered. So I've got sort of smaller shaper tool, some bigger shaper tool to kind of spread it around. Again, not huge amount of tension. I am sort of going over old bits, but I'm also covering some new areas as well. Yeah, just spreading it here with my finger a little bit. So yeah, still playing and still having fun. It's nice to get a bit of that Micasious iron oxide mixed up in those gels as well, because it will create sort of interesting streaks. So I've got a stencil here, and oh, I love this bit. It's so nice to do. You can create your own stencils too. This one is shop bought. I bought it on Amazon, and you can see just it. Sorry about the fact that it's all white on white, but you can just about see what the stencil comes out like. So I'm just sort of doing it in different parts of the plate, just sort of roughly. It doesn't have to be evenly shaped area, but I'm kind of trying to get it in so it shows up in all of the 6 plates basically. But yeah, you can do it on top of other pastes and gels, or you can find a fresh sort of surface that hasn't been covered yet. And you can also put things on top before it dries. And lastly, I'm just going to do some, because I haven't got any lines yet, so I'm just doing some lines with a dry point tool and carving it into the environment board or on top of other pastes and gels, just to get some lovely line there. Okay, so once I've let all of this dry, I am going to start peeling off all my stuck down shapes, and what I'm hoping to achieve is to get some textures, to get some contrasts. So these bits I'm peeling off are just exposing the environment card, which is smooth, so it should in theory create light colored stripes on the dark surface. And as you can see, that it got stuck quite strong in some areas, so I need to help myself with a scalpel knife to get them off. And so now I'm just going to peel off my shapes, as well as the masking tape that is dividing the 6 squares. You don't have to peel off the masking tape. You can do it in sort of different, at the different stage. You can do it after you cut the plate up. It might actually even be easier to do it that way. So as you can see, I'm starting to cut the plates up. It's all dry by now. You don't want to do it when it's wet, obviously, because you will destroy your design. Yeah, this is a bit where you are going to start seeing what the actual plates will look like. As you can see, one is just showing here, and this is quite a satisfying part of the work, because you can start seeing your final plate designs. And after you've cut it out, there's any bits that you have missed, you can start peeling off your bits of tape. As you can see, I've managed to cut myself, and that's why I've got blue plaster. But yeah, be careful with that scalpel knife. It's easily done though. So yeah, here we go. I've got my designs, and the next stage will be to ink them all up and wipe the ink off and then print, because this is an intaglio print. I'm planning it for it to be an intaglio print, so I'm going to use my press and black ink. So here they are. They look pretty cool, just as plates themselves. They look really nice. So what I'm doing here is just sanding down the edges. It's really worth doing that, because sometimes when you have cut plates up, you will get some uneven rough surfaces or bits sticking out. So just want to make sure you give them a nice sand down, especially at the edges. or to avoid any ink trapping, getting trapped at the edges as well. It's really worth doing that. Okay, so now that I have sanded down all my prints, I'm going to use Akua Intaglio printmaking ink, and just giving it a little stir. You always have to stir the Aqua inks. It's good to give them a nice mix. And I'm applying the ink with a roller, and obviously you won't get the ink in all the areas, so you have to kind of push it in with a dirty scrim and kind of in circular motion to get all the ink in. And once that's done, you then just take a scrim and wipe the rest of the ink off, and then polish the plate with some newspaper. Polishing plate will always give it that extra sharpness of certain features you might want to show, so it's always worth doing polishing the plate. All right, so the plates I have inked up all 6 of the plates, and I'm just doing a proof print here, so I'm not going to print them separately. I will just put them all in on a one paper just to save paper, because all I'm trying to do is just want to see what they look like. Putting a bit of newsprint, some cardboard just to protect my blankets, and I'm just adjusting the press. Put it through the press, and yeah, I used this video also to demonstrate different varnishes, which is my other video talking about different varnishes of Collagraph plates. And one of the varnishes wasn't very good, so it stuck to the paper a bit, which wasn't great. But as you can see here, this shows all the exciting different designs. Now, if I didn't varnish all of my plates like the one on the top left, I would have ended up with much more interesting result, like the print on the top left. But because I varnished them with different sort of experimental varnishes, they've come out with a little bit lighter or darker, or, you know. So, but what's so great, it gives you some lovely prints. You can now cut them all out and do something with them. And color them in or use them as a basis to create a larger print. So it's really worth doing this as a sort of experiment, just to come out with some ideas, either to as a basis for a print itself, a mini print, or a larger version. Yeah, this is a result that I've come up with. Was really good fun. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that it will help you in just getting playful with your Collagraph plates. I will follow this video up with another video of how you can make these prints you've made out of these plates, how you can develop these prints further, how you can just use mixed media methods to make them into mixed media Collagraph prints stroke paintings. Watch this space, and hopefully see you again soon.